Hello world, hello Laurel, hello Melvin. It's Jeffrey Lyles. I'm back and it's another exciting installment of Lyles Movie Files. Joining me today as always is my co-host and dear friend, Melvin Mooring. How are you today, sir?
Doing well. How's it going, Jeff?
Man, I can't complain. Today is my birthday.
It is.
I'm very excited about that. I've got my ringtone all set up. It's gonna be a big day and we cannot do it any better than having another installment of the one and only Lyles Movie Files.
Happy birthday, Mr.
Thank you so much, sir. Appreciate it. We've got a big show. There's a lot going on. So first off, let's talk about one of my favorite movies that is definitely going on my list of top 17 for 2017. This is going to be my pick here. This is going to be right in the teens, but it was so much fun. It's Happy Death Day. It's basically you take Scream, you take Groundhog Day, you put them in a blender, mix it all up, and you get this amazing, crazy concoction. Let's take a look and see some of the fun of Happy Death Day.
Oh, hey, you're up.
Am I in a dorm room?
Yeah, I folded your pants for you.
Great.
Dude, did you hit that or what?
It's your birthday.
Stop global warming.
We gon' party like it's your birthday. We gon' sip and party like it's your
You
birthday.
sneaky little biatch. Maybe you should switch to water next time. Super helpful. Don't be late to the party tonight.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Tree, happy birthday.
You can find me in the club, bottle full of bub. Look, mommy, I got the X. I'm getting into taking drugs. I'm in the habit.
You scared me.
Hey, you're up.
Look, I know this isn't gonna make any sense. Stop global warming? I feel like I'm losing my mind.
You sneaky little biatch. Happy birthday.
I've already lived through this day. Somebody's gonna kill me tonight. So you can hear now.
Is everything okay? Assuming that I believe any of this is even possible,
Sprinklers, car alarm.
the way I see it, you have unlimited amount of lives, unlimited opportunities to solve your own murder.
So I'm supposed to keep dying until I figure out who my killer is?
You want to live to see tomorrow, right? Whoever's killing you knows it's your birthday.
Pretty much the entire school knows.
These are signs of major trauma. You should be dead.
You relive the same day over and over again. Kind of start to see who you really are.
All units, we've got a 1878.
All right, so I'm so excited about this movie that I made the actual ringtone, which is not in the trailer, the ringtone for today, my birthday.
That's good.
It's crazy. So basically what this movie does, it takes that typical 90s horror setup where it's like the teen girl going after some costume creep who's trying to kill her. And then it kind of flips it. So instead of just the typical one death and there's like 20 cast members and half the characters get killed off, it's just one person who constantly gets killed. And the clever thing with this is she's just not that simple victim where it's like, oh, I got killed and that's it. So like after her second time, she's like, nope, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start being proactive. I'm gonna make a list of every possible person who could have some reason to kill me. And because she's such a raging witch, she has so many people that actually wanna kill her and wouldn't be too upset if she dies. So that's part of the fun of it's like, who's the person that actually did it? And then the movie is really clever because she keeps trying to figure out these different ways to figure out who's killing her. And then once she figures that out, she gets to go back to enjoying the rest of her life. But the real question is if she's gonna figure out how to change her life in addition to saving it. And then the movie has this really clever twist where it's like, I figured it out. And then it's like, nope. So I love this movie. It's a lot of fun. And The trailer looks like it gives away the whole movie, but it's so much more than the quick, cheap deaths. They're like a quick portion to the movie that doesn't really play into the mystery of who's trying to kill her and the humor and the fun of this crazy scenario. So happy Death Day. Go see it. It's a lot of fun and it's one you won't regret seeing. Next up, we've got a super big blockbuster for November, but my embargo has been lifted. So I'm very excited to talk about Marvel's big fall blockbuster movie, Thor Ragnarok. Now this is the third film starring Chris Hemsworth as the God of Thunder. Thor is back and he is looking to figure out what's gone wrong in Asgard. As you know, Loki took over in Thor the Dark World. And that's not the only problem that Thor has got to worry about, because now a new figure named Hela wants to raise all kind of carnage and chaos. And Thor has some other problems as well. Let's take a look to see what some of those things are.
So much has happened since I last saw you. I lost my hammer, like yesterday, so that's still pretty fresh.
And then I went on a journey of self-discovery, where I met you.
Where are we? You have no idea. Hela, the goddess of death, has invaded Asgard.
Oh, I've missed this.
And you and I had a fight recently.
Did I win?
No, I won, easily.
Doesn't sound right.
Well, it's true.
Asgard is dead. And it'll be reborn in my image. I thought you'd be glad to see me.
I need to stop her here and now to prevent Ragnarok, the end of everything. So I'm putting together a team. Like the old days. Surprise! This will be such fun. Hello.
Hi.
He's a fighter.
Here we go! I'm not a queen or a monster. I'm the goddess of death. What were you the god of again?
We're the same, you and I. Just a couple of hot-headed fools.
Yeah, same. Hulk like fire, Thor like water.
Well, kind of both like fire.
But Hulk like raging fire, Thor like smoldering fire.
Okay, so Ragnarok is crazy. After I watched it, I had to do some rejiggering and readjusting to my top 17 now movies in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And it's in the top 5. To figure out where it is, you'll have to go to Lyles Movie Files to check it out.
Top 5?
Top 5. I mean, it's that
So
good.
it's that good?
It is, because
Thor movies haven't been
they've been the
best.
weakling.
Yeah.
Like in my list, they've typically been at the bottom, like hanging out with Iron Man 3, hanging out with Hulk. But this one is hanging out with Captain America.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's a lot of fun. And Chris Hemsworth finally gets that opportunity to be the star. Like in other Thor movies, it's kind of been this thing like he's sharing the spotlight with Natalie Portman and Anthony Hopkins.
Right.
This time it's his movie. Like he's in pretty much every scene and he's showing off his comedic timing and he's like, he's not being a goof, but he's getting to be a little bit funny. And that's always been like the winning formula for most of these Marvel Cinematic movies. Like the Iron Man films, it's a lot of humor with a lot of action and it's like this perfect balance. The only ones that aren't really steeped with so much humor are the Captain America movies, but that's because it's a different kind of movie where it's like the noble traditional hero. Thor really isn't that way. He's like I'm cocky, I'm confident, I know who I am, I'm the God of Thunder. And this one, it kind of breaks him down. He's a little battered, you see he's got a haircut, he's not at Asgard anymore, it's been overtaken by an invader, and he's kind of broken. So this is like his path to redemption, kind of like the thought from the first one where Thor lost all his powers and had to become mighty again and worthy. This one is, I've got to restore the kingdom. I've got to get everything back. And oh yeah, I've got my buddy the Hulk to help me out too. And you saw in the trailer they're fighting, but they actually don't fake out on that. It's not something where it's like, oh, well, we're going to tease that fight. No, we get the full out Thor versus Hulk. And it's not a quick 2-minute thing. It's like, oh, yeah, we're really going to get this fight. And it's crazy and amazing. The direction in it is really inspired because that's always been a problem with the Thor movies. They felt some reason to keep this god of thunder and put him in Earth. And it's like, we don't need Thor there. We're buying into this guy who has a magic hammer that shoots out lightning. I think we can go along with him being in other realms and other universes without needing his human love interest. There's no love interest in this story, so it's just fun. Yeah, it's just action. And Tessa Thompson, who you've seen in there, she plays Valkyrie, and she's a scene stealer. She's like rivaling Tom Hiddleston, who plays Loki. You know, he's typically the guy who everybody loves in the Thor films. This time, Tessa Thompson's like, nope, excuse me, I'm going to take a little bit of this spotlight for myself, and I'm going to be in this, and people are going to remember me in it too. Awesome. So, in short, this is definitely a Thor movie worth checking out. Of all the comic book movies, I think Wonder Woman has pretty much been everybody's favorite, but I think after they see Thor, there's going to be a new favorite. So, Marvel.
That's a pretty high bar.
It is.
Sure about that?
I'm going to take it. You can write it down. Here's a pen. You can be like, okay, on this day, you said this was. But yeah, Thor is really one of my favorites. It's been a lot. It was a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to seeing it again several times. So maybe we can go check it out.
Let's do it.
So you can sign off and agree with me.
All right.
All right. So we got a lot of other stuff going on.
Yeah.
All right. So we mentioned I wanted to talk about Blade Runner. It's a remake, Blade Runner 2049. This is I guess like the sequel to the 80s classic. You know, there was a box office flame, but became this cult classic over the years, and everybody was like, oh yeah, of course, I saw Blade Runner. I loved it when I first saw it, which really wasn't the case.
Never true.
Yeah, I mean, it became this thing where, oh yeah, I'm supposed to really like Blade Runner. I really like Blade Runner. This one is this like, okay, I can get into the journey right away, and it's got this story that it unfolds slowly. The movie's 3 hours. So, you know, make sure you're not sleepy, get a Coke, get some popcorn, you're gonna be there for a while. But it really sucks you in, and the special effects, and it's a really gorgeous looking movie. It's one of those where it's like, I really don't want to pay those IMAX prices, but it's one you're going to want to pay for it.
Really?
Yeah.
So those effects are a little bit better.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you want to go, whoo, wow, that scene was crazy.
That was the attempt in the 80s. But.
Yeah, this one actually delivers on that promise. Okay. So save your pennies, take all that, and go see the IMAX version.
All right, I'm trusting you because you know I don't do remakes like that.
I know you don't, but this one is worth seeing because you're going to want to see it on the biggest screen possible. Okay. And seeing it on your 60-inch TV just won't cut it.
Got it.
So see it in theaters. Now we've got all the cool, exciting stuff that's coming up for the rest of the year.
Yes.
Yes, this is our fall winter preview. So first up, since we've already talked about Thor and how he's taken down Wonder Woman, there's one last comic book movie for 2017. It is the one that has probably the most anticipation and concern of everything, maybe in the last two years. It is Justice League. Ben Affleck, Gal Gadot, Ezra Miller, Ray Fisher, Cyborg, cannot forget about him, and Jason Momoa unite the 7, who are only 5 right now. We've still got 2 more slots to fill. So they're going to be back as the Justice League, and some of them we've not seen suited up until this movie, which is a very unusual way to do it, as opposed to how the Avengers and Marvel Studios slowly introduced you to all these characters, then got you excited for the Avengers to finally come together. Right. We're going to see which way works out with November 17th Justice League. Let's take a look to see what we've been talking about.
again, Diana?
Me? Nothing very interesting.
The world remains in mourning after the death of the Superman.
Speculate he was alone, given no one has comfortable with him.
And where is the Gotham mask? The masked vigilante has been a no-show.
He said the Age of Heroes would never come again.
It has to. We don't have any more time.
Something is coming.
No protectors here. No lanterns. No Kryptonian. This world will fall. Like all the others.
One misses the days when one's biggest concerns were exploding wind-up penguins.
This is crazy. Honestly, I think we're all gonna die.
Each of us, in some way, is held back.
Don't engage alone. We'll do this together.
It's really cool you guys seem ready to do battle and stuff, but I've never done battle. I've just pushed some people and run away.
Relax, Alfred. I'll take it from here.
Do I know you?
Superman was a beacon to the world. He didn't just save people. He made them see the best parts of themselves.
All right. I don't recognize this world.
You don't have to recognize him. You just have to save it.
How many of you are there? Not enough. Do you really think that...
Oh, wow, they really just vanish. Huh? Oh, that's rude.
You said you'd come. Now let's hope you're not too late.
All right, so the pressure is on. They brought in Josh Whedon after Zack Snyder had to step away because of his family tragedies. So
We're sorry
Josh
about
Whedon,
that, but,
yes,
you know,
25 million more. Right. So I mean that's what some movies cost. So we've got this Justice League movie that has a lot riding on it because this may be the last attempt to salvage this DC extended universe.
exactly.
What do you think after seeing this trailer? Or
I'm
like the second one?
excited about this trailer. It seems like a lot of the reshoots we might have seen, or maybe they just saved the good stuff for now. I'm hoping that there's better stuff than what we saw in Batman and Superman, the theatrical version, not the extended cut, which actually explained a lot of things. Seems like they cut some things on the wrong side of the cutting room floor there. However, I really think that I'm optimistic about this one. I feel like they've maybe tweaked all the bugs in here, and it's Josh Whedon. I mean,
Josh Whedon knows how to do those group superhero
yeah.
movies. So if they could get anybody to do it, he's the best choice. So fingers crossed. And hopefully this is going to be the movie that has everybody excited.
Yes.
We mentioned something that was kind of like, hey, this could work. You were always disappointed because Flash is not being played by Grant
I
Gustin.
am very much disappointed. I'm still hoping that there's some way they show our Flash on the TV show, you know.
Yeah, like he goes through the Speed Force.
and they're like, oh, there's both of them there.
Yeah.
Like, some
Right.
kind of little nugget so that we can be like, okay, cool, for us fans.
Exactly.
That's all I ask.
Little fan service. That's always worked for Marvel.
Exactly.
Maybe it could work for DC too. All right, so November 17th.
Yes.
We'll find out what's going on, and hopefully it will be good. All right, so next up, Murder on the Orient Express. I know you love remixes and all that good stuff and remakes, but I'm excited about this one. Kenneth Branagh is back. He's directing. Daisy Ridley, Johnny Depp, and a host of actual good actors. So I'm really looking forward to this and seeing what happens, and I know you're not excited.
Not at all.
Why is that?
I just don't do remakes. This doesn't seem exciting, and it's like a remake of something that wasn't exciting in the first place. So I'm not going to be jumping. There's so many other movies that
It's
are
a
coming
mystery.
out that I'm like more excited about. I can't help it.
Money from Hamilton may have been the one that does it.
That helps. That helps me get to the theater because now with that knowledge, my wife will drag me to it.
There you go. So you're gonna get dragged in reluctantly.
Exactly. Between you and her, yes.
All right.
I'm reluctantly.
All right, so we're gonna put this on your radar. Put a pin on it.
I'm gonna have to now.
All right, there we go. That's all I'm gonna ask for. All right.
Force it.
So there was one that you were excited about that I'm gonna let you talk about and break down.
Well, yeah. Let's see the trailer first. It's Roman J. Israel, starring
Denzel Washington.
Denzel Washington's playing eccentric, which is interesting, but there's a little twist to it too. Let's watch the trailer.
Mr. Ramirez was told he was not under arrest, and yet he was refused use of the bathroom. That's a violation of civil rights.
You can wait and address this at trial.
Oh, I would like to address it now. I'm just saying...
Mr. Israel.
If guards in this courtroom would not allow you to use the bathroom, you would, by all definition, be detained.
I'm going to hold you in contempt if you continue to pursue this.
You're asking me to obey an erroneous court decision, and you tell me to wait. In my experience, wait.
Okay, find you in contempt.
Voluntary manslaughter. It's a good deal.
It's an enema of sunshine.
Sorry for
Taking a nanosecond off of your assembly line rubber stamp existence. Hello?
Everybody looking at you crazy.
Roman Israel.
We'll talk about what to expect if you are arrested.
We're gonna rap. I don't mean hip-hop. I'm sorry. Why are the sisters standing and the brothers sitting?
That's gendered and sexist.
And polite.
And patronizing.
And polite.
This law firm has run a deficit for years.
You're firing me?
You were a cornerstone of activism. You're inspiring.
I'm tired of doing the impossible for the ungrateful.
And you gotta make a living. Take care of yourself.
I am.
I know where CJ's hold up. What's that worth?
A lot.
Don't tell nobody.
Everything we discuss will be confidential. The man who did it, I know where he is. I want the reward, cash. The world is full of wonderful things.
Well, what do you think?
When can I move in?
I just heard something about you from a solid source.
You knew where I was.
God!
I got you. Anytime I want.
God!
These are dangerous people.
Roman, I'm concerned about you.
I went to war last night. I've been dealing with depression ever since an adolescent.
You don't just walk away from this.
I'm not walking away. I can finish this. Each one of us is greater than the worst thing we've ever done.
So, like I said, it looks like Denzel is going to play eccentric at first, right? But then he kind of goes into this crime drama. It reminds me a little bit of an old movie he did called Out of Time, where he does something and then he has to figure out how to fix it and go through it as like an innocent person, but he really isn't that innocent, so he's got to prove it. But this looks good. I'm like, okay, this is a new role for Denzel again.
Right.
Usually playing a hero as usual and all that stuff, with the exception of the one movie that he won an Oscar for, Training Day. But this is a good one. I'm actually excited about it.
Yeah, I think this is going to be another one of those deals where you can just pin him in as one of those Best Actor nominees. And he's going to take it in, and people are going to be like, well, Denzel again. Yep. But there's a reason for that. Denzel is just the man.
It's good. And 'tis the season. It's almost time for the Oscar movies anyway. So
and you know when you go pay your money for a Denzel Washington movie, you're going to get a great performance.
Oh, yeah.
And this looks like another one. So add that into the calendar. We'll probably be reviewing it very soon because, yeah, it's definitely on both of our lists.
Oh, yeah.
All right, the last one here. I'm sorry, not the last one.
Not the last one,
yes,
but
we're skating on some thin ice on this one here.
Oh, boom.
So maybe back in the day, for those of you who remember, there was a very controversial incident in the Olympics with Tanya Harding and Nancy Kerrigan with the why? And this is going to be based on Tanya's side of the story. This is I, Tanya, starring Margot Robbie from Suicide Squad and The Wolf of Wall Street. That alone is probably going to get a lot of people to watch the movie. But this looks like it's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
So let's take a look at I, Tanya.
America. They want someone to love. But they want someone to hate. And the haters always say, Tanya, tell the truth. There's no such thing as truth. I mean, it's bullshit.
A nuts movie. We're gonna have Tanya's side of the story, and she does not seem like the typical hero. It's kind of like the ice skating version of Goodfellas from that tone of it. It's like, yo, it's gonna be nuts. I'm really looking forward to this. We've got another comic book connection because you cannot escape movies without it. So this time we've got Margot Robbie and Sebastian Stan, who's played the Winter Soldier in the Marvel Studios. So we've got Harley Quinn and the Winter Soldier in this one. Melvin, what do you think about this, man?
Oh, I just remember, it makes me nostalgic. It just reminds me of when we were going through it on the news and seeing all this stuff. And it's like, why am I interested in this stuff? I just am. I'm just going to watch it. So now here's a movie, finally. It's not a made-for-TV movie. It's actually a movie that we can actually look at. So I'm actually excited about it, too.
All right, so maybe the biggest movie of the year, based off of the previous effort, is Star Wars The Last Jedi. We're gonna get the next version or next installment of Rey's journey to becoming the ultimate, most powerful, everything Jedi, because that's what every sequel does to the previous generation. And we're actually gonna hear Luke Skywalker talk, which is exciting to me, as Luke is pretty much one of my favorite movie heroes. So let's take a look at The Last Jedi and see if we get some insight on this one.
When I found you, I saw raw, untamed power. And beyond that, something truly special.
Something inside me has always been there. But now it's awake. And I need help.
I've seen this raw strength only once before. It didn't scare me enough then. It does now. Let the past die. Kill it. If you have to. That's the only way to become what you were meant to be.
fire that'll burn the First Order down.
This is not going to go the way you think. Fulfill your destiny.
I need someone to show me my place in all this.
Okay, so that is one movie that looks like it's going to deliver big time, huge, everything that people wanted. And it looks like there's not going to be that obvious connection to Empire Strikes Back like a lot of people, including myself and Melvin, thought Force Awakens was. So we're excited about this, and joining us to complete 2/3 of the current day Boys to Men is Jean-Luc Zaffer. And he's going to give us his take on The Last Jedi trailer too.
It's good to see all of you and good to be here on Lyles Movie Files. I'm Jean-Luc Zaffer, and Star Wars is back in a really big way. We have Rian Johnson directing, so I believe this is going to be a really new iteration for Star Wars fans and a big inclusion into this franchise. From what we gathered so far from the trailer, we can see that Rey is so much stronger than she was in the previous Force Awakens. And also what we can see is that we see Kylo Ren getting close to pulling that trigger on Leia, but is he gonna do it? I don't want him to, because Leia is so dear to my heart. Rest in peace, Carrie Fisher. And this is going to be such a new iteration. I personally think who stole this trailer, though, is that little screeching creature who I think it's called a porg, if I believe. And it was so grand, such an exciting trailer. And no matter what, I think Star Wars The Last Jedi is going to be the movie of the year.
All right, Melvin, what do you think? Movie of the year?
Movie of the year, we'll see. I'm optimistic, of course, because it's Star Wars. I'm always going to be optimistic. Seems like the trailer was a little anticlimactic because they're kind of pulling from, hey, you're a Star Wars fan. You know what to expect. This is what you're going to get. However, looking at, listening to Luke, wondering what the plot's going to be. I mean, the thing's called The Last Jedi. What does that mean? What's happening? So I'm curious. I'm going to watch it out of pure curiosity, and I'm a fan. Let's go watch it.
All right, I think there's going to be a huge amount of misdirection because there's no way that Rey is actually raising her hand and Kylo Ren's accepting to teach her the ways of the dark ways of the Force. I think that's just a big fake out. So I'm curious to see what the cliffhanger is, because the big thing with Empire Strikes Back that made it resonate with so many people was the fact that, hey, is Han dead? Is Darth Vader really Luke's father? Spoiler. But yeah, I mean, there was a lot of stuff going on with that. So hopefully Last Jedi just doesn't try to, let's do our spin of Empire Strikes Back, but bring something new to the table and has something fresh to say so we can be excited for the 3rd episode. It's now going to be directed by J.J. Abrams. Shudder, shudder. Get ready for the Ewoks. It's going to be exciting.
Hopefully it's not another iteration of The Force Awakens.
Right.
We need something new.
Yes. All right, so now let's start winding down with the TV shows because we got to wrap them up here. We've got Arrow, we've got Flash, and one other film or one other show that we'll break down. So let's start talking about Arrow. Has it been back on target? Season 5 was its best season. I have no problem saying that season 2 was great as well. Season 5 was just too good.
Season 2, I still disagree with you on that one.
We had Prometheus, we had all kinds of surprises, and we had like a really great backstory. The flashbacks are good. So far in season 6, we've had some interesting things happen down. Arrow, Oliver Queen is no longer the Green Arrow. He's passed the mantle on to his buddy Diggle, and Diggle has his own problems after the incident with Prometheus. And now Team Arrow or Team Diggle is completely in disarray. And there have been a lot of cool developments. Diggle may have a drug problem. Thea's in a coma, and Felicity is now going to be the stepmom in training. What do you think so far about what's gone down?
Oh my goodness. So you got Diggle putting on the Green Arrow, which is cool because don't forget in the future when Legends of Tomorrow, another show, we'll talk about that later. We have Legends of Tomorrow where, Diggle's son takes on the mantle. So now we have Diggle taking the mantle. So it kind of fits there. Still a little awkward seeing him in the costume, but I feel like they're on the right track of making another season 5 attempt of okay, we're gonna build up to something big here. Season 5, I mean, they got a lot to live up to. I like it so far.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little tired of the story arc of okay, Oliver Queen is the Arrow, the mass vigilante. We did this before, but they seem to be doing it with another twist. So I'm excited to see what they're building up to, actually.
All right. So hopefully season 6 will be just as good as season 5. Maybe not as good as season 2 to Melvin, but at least better than season 3 and 4. We hope it on that at least.
Well, I mean, it's already started off better than season 3 and 4, so I'm good.
Good deal. All right. Now we got to move quickly. So let's talk about The Flash. Barry Allen's back. We've seen Flash immediately come back from last season's cliffhanger, which was kind of weird because it seemed like it was going to be something that's going to last a little bit longer. But he's back, and Team Flash is kind of back to status quo. We've seen Caitlin return, no real mention of Killer Frost. Harry's back, he came back. Kid Flash is gone. Cisco isn't really using his powers too much. Basically, it's a back to basics approach for Flash. There's a lot more humor, no more Oliver imitation efforts from Barry. He's happy, everyone's enjoying life again, and Joe still has some potent Future West to come. John Luke, what do you think so far?
I think it's a really, really good start. I was a little upset they brought Flash back that quickly. I was expecting them to have at least 2, 3, maybe 4 episodes without Flash, going over how we're going to get him out of the Speed Force. This is really, really important. So, because that was a killer ending for me. I was a big fan of season 3. So Flash leaving and taking his time remnant space inside the Speed Force, I thought he was about to be there for a while, because you don't just take someone out of the Speed Force and not let it have an occupant. So I think it was pretty good. I still see a lot of big things for this season. I think they just rushed it a little bit too quickly getting Barry out, because it's we know that Barry is the star. We get it. We need Flash. The show is called The Flash. But at the same time, you don't need to rush your story too much. We can still slow things down. People love this series.
All right, Melvin. I know you've had a theory. You figured out how one thing can go in for the Speed Force for something else.
I don't understand it. I really don't. So apparently Cisco's Nerf ball can now occupy an entire speedster in the Speed Force. So I'm like, okay, yeah, I thought it was a little too quick, but I also am on the fence because I don't want it, you don't want him to just, not be in the show for more than a couple of episodes. So I guess they were on the fence too, and forget it. We're just gonna throw this Nerf ball in there. There's some other issues I have with this show. What's going on with Kid Flash hair? Suddenly it's just this weird straightened 70s, let me go further back, 50s look of his hairstyle. And I'm kind of weirded out. But they obviously did not know what to do with the character, so they sent him back to Blue Mountain?
Blue Valley.
Blue Valley. Trying to remember my comic book lore of Kid Flash. There we go. Blue Valley. So I'm a little, that was a little part where I'm like, okay, now they just got rid of a speedster. I guess they're just going to do a Flash, but I'm actually looking forward to the villains in this. They seem to have made a bus full of villains, so I'm kind of happy about that.
Yeah.
And there are the classic villains, like Hazard this week was really, I'm like, okay, that's a good blast from the past. How are they going to make this corny character an actual villain? I'm like, oh, they actually did it okay.
Yeah, and that was one of the few sympathetic villains that Flash has been able to pull off, where it's like, I understand why you're a bad guy. Look, life has screwed you over, and now you want to do the same to life. And now that you get a little luck, everybody else is going to pay. So it was fun. I like that. Now it's time to talk about some things that maybe aren't so fun. Life that, as we know it, is dying. And Rick and company are getting ready for all-out war. It's The Walking Dead, and it's just started with its 8th season now. And it's not going to be a peaceful, happy, joyous affair. There's not going to be a lot of laughs. It's going to be a lot of violence, a lot of blood, and a lot of walkers. Let's take a look so far at what's gone on in the 8th season of The Walking Dead.
throw a microwave at me, so I'm just gonna say something my mom used to say and hope for the best here. Whatever you have of good, spend on the traveler. My mom said that helping the traveler, person without a home, that's everything. I'm sure you've seen things, been through things that you don't trust people. I get it. I get it. I don't either. I've been through things too. My mom, she also said that may my mercy prevail over my wrath. It's not all my mom. That one, that's from the Quran. Or I shouldn't have said that. I don't even know you, but I haven't eaten in a few days. You might not even be real. Hands up!
So, Carl may be in some trouble. We'll find out. We're still trying to figure out who this guy is. We do know who a major problem so far for Rick and company, and that's our boy Negan, the bat-wielding psycho with his pal Lucille, who's already made a few victims out of Rick's crew. So we're gonna find out what's happening here. One thing for sure, Rick already seems to have a much better idea in terms of how to beat Negan. This first episode actually had a good idea from Rick and company. They weren't just doing their normal, well, let's see what happens. They were like, no, we're gonna go to the front gate. We're gonna have a truck full of explosions. We're gonna break down the gate, and we're gonna draw all these walkers to go invade your entire area. I like that. That wasn't his typical plan, and it actually almost worked if it wasn't for that stupid Gabriel. I don't understand. I mean, you saw Gregory is clearly a traitor, and instead of going, peace out, bro, you go, maybe I'll help him. That, I can't imagine anybody.
That's the part that I'm like,
anybody doing
so
that.
well until.
Yeah, like, come on, man. And then he meets up with Negan, and Negan wants to know what kind of pants he's wearing. So it's a weird situation. Melvin, what you think?
I thought everything was going great up until that point. Exactly. So now I'm a little lost and worried that now we're gonna face some of the stuff that we saw in Walking Dead last season, where it's like gonna be a lot of, I call them null space episodes, where you're just looking at each other, or all this setup, and just nothing happens. Reminds me of Dragon Ball Z back in the day when you're just looking at episodes that don't mean anything, and you're just like, can we just get to the scenes? Can we get to the fight scenes? Can we get to the real stuff? So I'm actually not optimistic about this season now.
Wow, after one episode.
Yeah.
The hope is gone.
Hope is gone. They kind of slowed me down last season.
The hope and the thrill is gone.
Yeah.
All right. And then we had those weird kind of dream sequences, maybe future sequences. John Luke, what'd you think about that?
Okay, just shout out to comic book fans. It reminded me of his hairstyle that Rick currently has in the comics, with the short hair on top, long beard. But I actually feel the exact opposite of you, Melvin. I thought this episode started off season 8 amazing. It was really, really intense. I saw them mobilizing their vehicles. I thought I was watching Mad Max for a moment with how they were customizing their vehicles to go to war with Negan. Normally we give episodes and we give shows a lot of crap that, hey, you're starting this too slow, or let's speed, let's get to the meat of the episode, let's get what we want to see. You got that in this first episode, but it wasn't just for Rick personally, it wasn't just him having an army. Can he also stand on a verbal ground with Negan? Because the entirety of season 7, Negan was talking so much trash to Rick, and it was hilarious to me because I'm a huge Negan fan. But at the same time, being able to see Rick count down, hey, okay, 1, 2, 3, I'm guns blazing, I'm not playing any games with you, and attacking Negan with no sense. He wants Negan dead, period. So being able to have that and have that much action and have a lot of these show stealers, Lauren Cohan, who plays Maggie, stealed her scenes. Carrie Patton, who played Ezekiel, stealed her scenes. Same thing with Andrew Lincoln, and also same thing with Jeffrey Dean Morgan. So having that, which I called them the 4 horsemen of this episode, I thought they really stole the show for this episode.
So we're looking forward to seeing this. You have no hope whatsoever.
I have no hope, but I'm still gonna watch.
Hope has been abandoned. All right.
I'm just gonna watch anyway.
All right.
I'm hoping something comes out of this. I also enjoy Negan, so I'm gonna watch.
Of course.
All right, it's
You
that
can't hate Negan.
Right.
It's that TikTok time of the show,
Oh.
Melvin.
Well,
So what's up with your minute, man?
All right, so my minute might be a little shorter than a minute, but you just nailed it. TikTok. We're always waiting for some trailer, some movie, some show. Right now, I'm focused on Black Panther, of course. I mean, they threw out that trailer just to be like, and by the way, you have to wait till February. It's me. I don't like it. But I love the trailer. I can't wait. I can't wait to see, oh my goodness, leopards coming out. Oh, it's going to be great. The fight scenes look great. And I'm hearing that that's the tip of the iceberg of the actual movie. So when they threw out rumors like that, they just make you want to wait more. It's just so annoying. I'm tired of waiting. Come on, Marvel, help me out. Then you have shows on Netflix and everything else where they're like, we're not going to give you a release date. You can Google all you want. No release date whatsoever. Black Mirror. Help me out. Come on. I'm like, if you're not familiar, Black Mirror is a Netflix show that is, high tech, but the horrors of high tech and, what can happen in the future or not so distant future. So I enjoy the show. I'm still waiting. I'm tired of waiting. Netflix, help me out. So that's my minute, man. I'm just tired of waiting. There's too much waiting. I'm also waiting for Legends of Tomorrow to get good, but I don't know if that's gonna get any better.
Patience. You must learn patience.
That's not my forte. No, that's not my forte. I'm a Sith, man. I'm sorry.
Well, in The Walking Dead Season 8, you definitely got action right at the beginning. We confronted Negan right there, so you did get that part.
At least they got that right.
Because he had to wait till the last episode of Season 7 before we get there.
Yeah.
Even though Negan was right in your face, you're not going to do nothing.
I did kind of want Rick to just start shooting at Negan to end it right away. All right, well, that's all the time we have tonight. So thank you all for tuning in. Gentlemen, thank you for
Glad to be here.
Being part of the fun today.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching. This episode of Lyles Movie Files has been filed.